Sophia had always cherished her morning walks. For decades, she had started her day with a brisk stroll through the neighborhood, savoring the crisp air and the cheerful melodies of birds overhead. Walking had been her way of staying fit, clearing her mind, and embracing the simple joys of movement. But lately, something felt different. Her knees ached more than before, especially after longer walks. Uneven sidewalks made her feel unsteady, and fatigue seemed to settle in quicker than it used to. One morning, she stumbled over a crack in the pavement. She caught herself just in time, but the moment lingered in her thoughts. What if she had fallen? Would she have been able to get back up? The question gnawed at her. Walking had always been her go-to exercise, but was it still enough? She didn't want to give it up. It was part of who she was. But ignoring the signals her body was sending her didn't seem wise either. Staying active and independent mattered more than ever. If you've ever found yourself wondering whether your routine is still serving you as you age, you're not alone. Many rely on walking as their primary form of exercise, but as our bodies change, our needs evolve too. Sophia was about to discover two simple yet powerful activities that would transform how she moved, how she felt, and how she approached aging. By the end of her journey, she felt stronger, more balanced, and more energized than she had in years. For most of her life, Sophia had believed walking was the ideal way to stay fit. It was effortless, free, and a natural part of her day. But after her near stumble, she paid closer attention to how her body responded. Stiff knees, weaker legs, and even something as routine as climbing stairs now left her winded. Concerned, she mentioned it at her next checkup. Her doctor listened patiently as she shared her concerns, her aching joints, her fatigue, her growing fear of falling. "Sophia," the doctor said kindly, "walking is wonderful, but as we get older, it's not always enough to keep us strong and steady. Our bodies change, and we need to adapt." The doctor explained that as people age, several things happen. Joint health declines as cartilage wears down, making repetitive activities like walking on hard surfaces more uncomfortable. Muscle mass naturally decreases, a process called sarcopenia, which speeds up after 60. Without enough muscle, staying active becomes more challenging. Balance can also become an issue, as weaker muscles and slower reflexes make staying steady more difficult, increasing the risk of falls. Sophia was taken aback. She had always assumed walking alone would keep her body resilient. Now she realized it wasn't enough to maintain strength, protect her joints, or support her balance. The doctor reassured her that she didn't need to stop walking, but she did need to add a few new exercises to her routine. These simple activities would help her stay strong, steady, and independent for years to come. The doctor recommended two specific activities: chair yoga to enhance flexibility and balance, and strength training to rebuild muscle and protect bone health. At first, Sophia felt unsure. Yoga? Strength training? These weren't things she had ever considered. But she trusted her doctor and figured, why not? Sophia's first step was chair yoga. She had always pictured yoga as something for the young and impossibly flexible, filled with complicated poses and impossible stretches. But when she entered her first class at the local community center, she found a welcoming group of people her age, all comfortably seated in sturdy chairs. The instructor greeted her warmly and reassured her. "You don't need to be flexible to start, you just need to show up." The class began with simple breathing exercises, and to her surprise, Sophia immediately felt a sense of calm. The instructor led them through slow, deliberate stretches, raising an arm overhead, gently twisting to the side, rolling the shoulders, all with the support of a chair. By the end of the session, she felt lighter, both in body and in mind. That wasn't so bad, she thought. In fact, it felt good. Over the next few weeks, chair yoga became a regular part of her routine, and she started noticing real changes. Her flexibility improved, making everyday movements easier, like reaching for the top shelf or looking over her shoulder while driving. The stiffness in her knees and hips eased, and getting out of bed no longer felt like an ordeal. Her posture improved as she naturally sat and stood taller, and she even found a new sense of mental clarity. Yoga had become her time to focus, unwind, and feel centered. Emboldened by her progress, Sophia felt ready to take on the next challenge: strength training. The idea of lifting weights had intimidated her at first. "Isn't that for bodybuilders?" she had asked her doctor, but she quickly learned that strength training didn't mean lifting heavy barbells. It could be as simple as using light dumbbells or resistance bands. The goal wasn't to build bulk, It was to regain the strength she needed for everyday life. She started with a pair of 1-pound dumbbells and a resistance band, following a gentle routine designed for beginners. At first, the movements felt unfamiliar, but she quickly realized how effective they were. Simple exercises like bicep curls helped her lift groceries without strain. Chair squats made climbing stairs easier. Seated leg extensions strengthened her knees, improving stability. And resistance band rows helped straighten her posture. Within weeks, Sophia felt the difference. She could carry her laundry basket with ease. She no longer needed to grip the stair railing for support. And best of all, she felt steadier, more energized, and more confident in her movements. Tasks that had once felt exhausting now felt manageable again. Strength training wasn't just changing her body, it was changing how she saw herself. By combining chair yoga and strength training, Sophia had found a balanced approach to staying active. Yoga kept her flexible and mobile, while strength training built the muscle and stability she needed to move confidently. She no longer worried about falling or losing her independence. Instead, she felt empowered, in control, and optimistic about the future. Her weekly routine was simple yet effective. Chair yoga 3 times a week for flexibility and relaxation, strength training twice a week to build muscle and stability, and a short walk on Sundays to enjoy nature. It wasn't about spending hours exercising, it was about consistency, and the results spoke for themselves. One afternoon, while playing with her grandchildren, she realized something remarkable. She wasn't thinking about her knees, her balance, or her energy levels. She was simply enjoying the moment. She smiled to herself, knowing she had reclaimed her strength and confidence. Sophia's journey proves that small changes can lead to big improvements. If you're feeling hesitant about trying something new, remember, it's never too late. Whether you start with a few minutes of chair yoga or pick up a light set of weights, every step you take is an investment in your health, your independence, and your future. So what will your first step be?